Hey, John here. So this video is a bit of an experiment. It's basically a lesson I made 8 years ago. And I'm going through a Bach piece called Partita in B minor, and this is a double A section, or double. And basically, I'm gonna play it once through, or I did back in the day, as you're gonna see. And then I'm gonna go through the whole piece section by section. So that's the whole point of the video. And I'm also gonna provide a link to the tabs that you can find on my Patreon. And it's gonna be all free, so you can just go to my Patreon and download the tabs. So again, this is just an experiment, and you're gonna find that my old style of videos, this was like probably the 5th video I've ever made to put online. It's a lot of type of stuff in it, but if you can get through that, I think it's a very clear way of how I actually play this piece. And also the way that I play it with a harpsichord sound in the background. And you know, if you play this piece in a more violinistic way, that if you listen to Hilary Hahn or someone like that, it's going to be more rubato in certain places. But I use this as a warm-up and as a alternate picking technique builder. So I'm playing it at a strict tempo. So that's my disclaimer for this video. So if you like this form of longer walkthroughs, just let me know in the comments and I will do more of them, but with more of an updated background and, you know, better sound and all that stuff. But I think the sound is decent for what it is, and you definitely will hear everything that you need to hear. And if you can just get through, you know, a bit of a slower paced speaking style, I think you'll get a lot out of this video. So I'm gonna show the whole piece section by section and also give you some practice advice. So check it out. Okay, so this is the first part of the Bach Partita. It's in B minor, like I said, and the meter is 9/8, but it's not. It's easy to think about 9/8 in like the context of a Dream Theater song or something progressive like that. But in this case, it just means that you get 9 notes to each bar, which effectively this is felt sort of like in triplets. So if you get 9 and divide that by 3, you get 3. So you could just as easily feel this like a 3/4 time with a triplet for each beat. So like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and so on. But you don't even really have to think about that. So because we'll learn it in sections, you'll get where you are anyway. And it's just sort of like a perpetual motion piece where the rhythm is constant. It's constant 8-note triplets here. Okay, but I'm going to teach this in two bar blocks, and you might wonder, well, why not 1 bar block? And that's because since it's in triplets, you get an uneven number of notes per bar, which would mean, since we're going to play this using alternate picking throughout, so even this is a great piece of music, we're going to treat it as primarily as an exercise, but it's sort of it's a better exercise than any picking exercise that you can really come up with, because you get to hear some great lines as well. So it's nothing disrespectful to treating this like an exercise. So, but anyway, back to the 1 bar thing. It's because if you have 9 notes, you would have 1, 2, 3. Then the next bar would start with an upstroke. And I found for myself when I learned this, I learned it first with 1 bar at a time, and I always confused where I was. I had to sort of recount from the beginning, so I knew where I was stroke-wise, if this bar would start with an upstroke or a downstroke. And it makes sort of a huge difference when getting used to playing this. So therefore I thought it was much easier to do it in 2 bar sections, which would mean that when we play the 2 bars, we get 18 notes plus the first note of the next 2 bar section. So like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we go. We'll end on a downstroke here, and then the next section will start with a downstroke, and so on. So, and you can find the complete performance of this piece, or I play through it at a not too fast tempo, and just to give you an idea how it sounds. And I play it through pretty straight in that version, and I suggest that you learn it that way as well, to be able to play it with a as even tempo as you can, because, like I said, this is a great exercise, and if you try to do it too artistically and you really slow down at places, you can do that as well, but you should be able to play it just strictly all the way through without mistakes first, I feel, because then you can add whatever rubato, and rubato just means that you slow down or speed up by feel. So, and if you listen to different violinists in particular playing this piece, they will speed up and slow down at certain places and accent notes the way they feel. So, and everybody has their different interpretation, because that's the thing with a lot of Bach's music and music from that time. They weren't really that specific when it came to accents and exact performance indications. They didn't even have tempo markings, really. Exact tempo markings where you could see. I think the metronome was introduced somewhere around Beethoven's time, because he was one of the first composers to actually have specific BPMs for his pieces. But before that, it was sort of like kind of fast, or it's lively. It was based mainly on a lot of this music was based on dances. So But anyway, so my point here is being that you can interpret this any way you like. So whatever you do with it, it's fine. But to get the most out of this, I highly suggest that you learn to play it just strictly first. Okay? So with that said, let's dive right into the first 2-bar section. So I just play it through at sort of the performance speed first. Okay, so this piece is not too fast, you know, you don't want to, it's not about that, so you can take it sort of easy, and when we get into longer into this piece, you'll see that there's kind of a lot of hard skips, so you don't want to start out too fast anyway. So with that said, we start out with a B minor triad, like this. So the first 6 notes are 4, 3, 2, and then 3 on the E string, and then 5, 3, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Okay, and from there we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And as you can see here, I say 6 notes, but then I keep adding 1 note, and that's because you always want to connect whatever you're working on. So if you're working on this section here, and this is the section after, you want to make sure that you play the first section plus 1 always. So you always connect the 2 things you're working on, because otherwise you will be working hard on section 1, hard on section 2, hard on section 3, and so on. But you have never practiced the actual connection between the bars, which will be really weird when you sort of can play and so on, but you have never done the actual this part. So it's always a good idea to this goes with whatever you're working on, to connect whatever section you're on with the next section, so you get that overlap. So that's why if I say 6 notes and then I play 7, it's not because I can't count, it's because we're always overlapping here. Okay, so that's how far we're going from the beginning now. So we had the first 6 note group, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, and then the second group. So 2, 5, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. Okay? And after that we go, so we go down a D major arpeggio here. So 3, 2, 3, 4. And for fingerings, you can just watch what I'm playing here, and if there's if I'm just playing the regular fingering, which would be this 4-fret, 1 finger per fret type of deal, I won't even mention it, you can just see it. But if there's something other than that, I will be more specific and tell you exactly what I'm doing, and then you can experiment and find your own fingerings, of course. So that's another thing, so don't feel that I mean, this is not written for the guitar, and this is just my way of playing it. So if you find another way of playing it that suits your style better, by all means just do that. So so again, we're here at the arpeggio, so we got, so basically going down 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 4, 5, and and then going back where we started, 3, 2, and then end on B here. So, and all these start on a downstroke. So 1, 2, so down, 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 down. Okay, so that's actually the first 2 bars already. So. Okay, so and I would really suggest that you work on this with the slow but quick method, where you slow down and try to move to the next note as quickly as possible. And keep alternate picking. And also be aware that it's a hard piece to play, actually. It's a lot of skips, even here in the beginning. If you're not used to alternate picking or arpeggios and all that stuff, it can be quite a challenge already. But I would really suggest that you do it with alternate picking, just to really develop that skill. To be able to play arpeggios with alternate picking, and then this will help all the scale stuff, and all that stuff will get a lot better just by going through it. Even by playing this piece really slowly will help you a lot with accuracy. Okay, so let's move on to the next section. Okay, so we ended up on this B with a downstroke. And the next section, like I said, will start on a downstroke, since we're always connecting sections. So we'll go in 6+1 note chunks here again. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Okay, so the first 4 notes, really no problem. We got B here on the 4th fret. G on the 5th, F sharp, E, so then we jump up to E 1 octave higher. Okay. So we got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 D note here, and then end up on the index finger on F on the 3rd fret on the D string. So here's actually a position shift. So if you look at my left hand here, I'm not staying in this position and just sort of shifting like this. I shift up my whole hand for these notes, because that's easier to, it's just easier to play. So. And another thing I would like to bring up here is that I've heard a lot of advice from good players, actually, that try to keep as many fingers down as possible while playing. And I don't agree with that at all. I try to, even with legato, only have as many fingers down as I really need to, and usually that's just 1 finger in most cases. And I just feel that since technique is so much about timing, I feel that if you have fingers down like this, let's say you're just playing something like you want to play something like that with picking, it's easier. It might be easier to play faster. I mean, technically, if you look at it, if you keep the index finger down, for example, all the time, you never move that finger. But I feel rhythmically it's harder, because it's sort of like you get an attack here, talking about the left hand, attack, which strings up with the right hand, because you get an attack for each note, of course. But if you keep the index finger down, you won't get a sort of a sensation of the attack in the left hand, and I feel that it's sort of at least for me, it feels weird rhythmically. It's just like something sort of, it's just empty, if you know what I mean. It's like attack, attack, no attack, 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 no attack. So I feel it's better for the synchronization to have be really active with the left hand as well. And if you look at guys like Alan Holtworth, who has like the craziest left hand ever, he actually, he's not even using pull-ups, he just does hammer-ons in each direction. So he really has to have one finger down at each time. But I would like to, why I mentioned this in conjunction with this piece is because there's a lot of position shifts, and if you're in the habit of keeping fingers down, it will feel really awkward to shift positions. So if you're coming from this play and you're used to having a lot of fingers down more than you need to, it will feel really strenuous to shift position, and that's never a good thing, I think. So whatever speed you might lose by not having as many fingers down as you possibly can, you gain a lot in articulation and able to fluently move around the neck. So and I don't feel you even lose any speed, because I mean that's in reality the difference between actually moving each finger and having one finger down. It might make a difference if you want to go from like 16th notes at 250 BPM to 280 BPM, but you know that's not a reality for most of us anyway, so why even bother? So you get all the benefits from using one finger at a time. And what I mean by that is I try to, as much as possible, only have one finger in contact with the fingerboard when playing single note lines, because I feel, like I said, I feel that really helps me to be more accurate rhythmically, which helps with everything, of course. So with that said, let's go back to our scheduled programming here. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. So we ended up here on the F, and that's where I want you to shift up one fret. So here we're in position 2. So I shift up the whole hand, and from here we go 1, 2, 3, and then back again. So we're only in this position for 3 notes. And the notes here are F, C sharp, B, and the same finger moves down. So not, because if you do this, you're kind of screwed. You want this note. And here we have a F sharp major arpeggio. So if you've looked at the sweeping videos, you're already familiar with this shape and also familiar with the rolling of the finger. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So in total 6 notes plus 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay, so if we connect it with the first one, we got okay. So that's it for this video, and we'll just pick up where we left off in the next video. So this is the first half of the first it's the first half of the first half of the piece. So what I played in the beginning of this video was the first sort of, not movement, but first section of the piece. So we're halfway through that one, so hopefully you didn't have too much trouble with this, but all these small chunks that we're doing here are really great for just practicing And if you can play these chunks, if you can play you can just practice each chunk like that. So and you'll see that, okay, maybe this one is harder because you're making larger skips, and then you know that, okay, I probably should spend more time with this one, and then you can just start connecting the longer chunks, so you form even longer sections, but still keep that +1 thing in mind all the way. So if you play the first chunk and connect it with the next one, you still want to connect it with the third one as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Okay, so it's time for section 2 of part 1 of the Bach double A in B minor. Hope that wasn't too confusing. We ended up here in the previous video, and this is downstroke. And I said in the first video that I was going to teach it in 2-bar phrases, but I realized what I did was I did it in 2-beat phrases actually, which is kind of weird when it comes to the piece being in 3/4 or 9/8 and all. But I think, at least for me, it's the most logical way to teach it, and I think it's easier for you to understand it as well. So at this point, it's all about getting the notes down. So however you compartmentalize them, it doesn't really matter. So I just feel 6 + 1 is a good chunk. Okay, so this is the next chunk then. So we start here on the 3rd fret of the G string, which is H sharp, and we go down just using the 4 finger, 1 finger per fret fingering. So nothing new to see here. So we go 3, then on the D string we go 5, 4, 2, and then 5, 4 on the A string. And here's where it gets kind of interesting. We move up with the same finger. Okay, so you only have to worry about this part. Just checking out the next part. So this can be a good place to stop for a moment and just practice that. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. So what you're doing here, you play 4, 3, and then you play the same note, just with a shift with the same finger. So, and this goes back to what we talked about in the previous video about using 1 finger or rather only having 1 finger at a time down on the fretboard whenever possible. So it's much easier to shift when you don't have all the other fingers dragging you down. Okay, so that's the first group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Next group. Now things are going to get a bit more tricky here. So okay, I said it was going to get tricky. So we have 3. The actual notes aren't that bad. It's just a B minor arpeggio. And I play them, usually I play with this rolling thing, but I find that in this case I use separate fingers because I felt I get better articulation. So it's a bit of a shift here. The notes are 5 with the 3rd finger after the shift, and then we play the index finger on the 4th fret, D string, and the 2nd finger on the 4th fret on the G string. So picking is down, up, down. Then we go back to this one, So we have this group, 1, 2, 3. Go back to the 4th fret with the index finger. This can feel kind of crowded, so just doing this can be a good exercise. You play 1, 2, 3, 4. So you sort of don't even think about the triplet. Just get used to that motion. Okay, so then back to that note again, and then A on the G string. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we have to shift up here to, or down here, B on the E string. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. And here it really helps to do that slow but quick method. So okay. So we continue on after that. We're here at the 7th fret. We play with the 3rd finger, and now we play 3, 3rd finger, and then the same fret on the D string. So 7, 7, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this part is just an A7 arpeggio. So we go A, C sharp, E, G, and just one finger per fret fingering here. So the only thing to watch out for here is to make sure that the A is on an upstroke. So we go down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay, so and let's just keep going here. You have the notation for this as well, so I don't want to spend too much time on this. I just want to give you the correct fingerings. So we ended up here, the 2nd finger. Now we're going to try to move, work our way back to this position here, and I do this by the 2nd finger. So just the notes first. We got 5 on the D string, 6 on the G string, 5 on the so still just A7 chord. And then we shift back like this. We have the fingering is 2, 4, and when you play 4, try to the hand is kind of bunched up here. Try to, when you get to the 4, you can sort of just relax the hand and move into a more of a 4, 1 finger per fret position again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we got 5, 6, 5 with the 3rd finger, and then 3 here on the G string with the 2nd finger. And then it's pretty easy from here, from this note. Just 3, 2, 5, and 3. So from the group before, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Okay? Next group, start out where we stopped, down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. So we basically keep the 1 finger per fret position, but we stretch with the 3rd finger here. Because if we use the 4th finger, we would have to do something like that, and that's really unpractical. So frets are 3rd fret, 4th, 2nd, 5th with the 3rd finger, and 5th with the pinky. And then just the scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so not too bad, I think. And I think the hardest part is actually this section. So once we get back here, it's not that, it's much easier compared to the other one. Because it's a lot of position shifts and sort of bunching up the hand and a lot of problem areas. At least for me, it might be different for you, but I think most guys feel the same. So, okay, so continuing on. Okay, so after that we started here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just playing around this F sharp major shape again. So 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 4th fret. And here we want to do this kind of thing. At least I do that. You can also play it 1, 2, 4, 3 if you want, but I prefer doing this. I'm so used to playing sweep arpeggio, so I really like this technique of using the same finger if I can. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the last 3 notes here are just this bar chord shape. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And the last group here is pretty easy. It's just so compared to everything else, it's very straightforward. So just a scale basically. 2, 3, 2, 5, 3, 2, and then we're back to the beginning again. So we got everything from the beginning again, and then we just have a new ending. So you get sort of, and that goes with the second section as well. Second part of this piece. You play you play each section twice, so you get the piece will be twice as long, and you don't have to learn all those notes. You just have to know that what ending you're on, so you're not screwing that up. But if you can manage to get that down, you get a really get a lot of mileage out of just these notes. And just these notes, there's a lot of notes, so you know it's you sort of deserve to play them again. But anyway, so the last group is just 1 finger per fret fingering. And if we connect that to the previous one, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. And we connect it even before that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Okay, and the last ending then, or the second ending before we move on to the next section of the piece, will be just that. So it's a lot less notes to learn. So you remember this part? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But again, this is the second time around, so you go 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, jump up, 2, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's basically it for the complete first section. So I'll play through the whole thing really slowly now. Again, same thing. So that's it. That's a complete first section of the piece. So work on that and just take it slow and know that everything you put in here will help you in the next section as well. So don't be too eager to go on. Just this thing in itself is actually a pretty nice piece of music. Okay, so you could end it with something like that. Just end with something in B minor. Since we got the 5 chord here. Okay, so it's time for part 2 of, or rather section 2 of the Bach double A in B minor. And we left off here, and we actually start on the same note as we end on. The first, I'm going to try to stick to the 2-bar format now instead of that other sort of kind of weird thing that I got into in the first video. So 2 bars at a time, and actually as before I will play first bar, the second bar, and then the first note of the next bar. So we always connect it. So we'll start on a downstroke and end on a downstroke. And as you can see in the PDF and the guitar profile, I've actually notated every single pick stroke, just so you won't be confused if you try to work on this with the different practice techniques from the Guitar Technique Toolbox. Because it can, since every other bar starts with a downstroke and every other bar starts with an upstroke, it can get pretty easy to get it confused. So, okay, so with that said, let's just start with the first 2 bars. I'll play it through pretty slowly at first and then break it down. So. Okay, so that's the first part. So we basically start here with an F sharp major arpeggio, an open voicing. An open voicing simply means that it's wider than 1 octave. A closed voicing would be like this, so the biggest interval is a 5th, for example. Whereas here we go beyond the octave up to a 10th, which is the same thing as a major 3rd, 1 octave higher. That's a quick side note with theory there. So what we do here is I play the index finger, 3rd finger, and the pinky, and down, up, down, then repeat the top note. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, then we have this descending scale line. So we go 7, 5, 4. So together. Then the D. So from this scale line we go, and this starts with a downstroke as well. So this actually outlines from here B minor arpeggio. So we go from 5 back to 1. Okay, and after that, and I play this with just the second finger, index, index. So, and after that we have quite a big stretch here. But I used to play this barring with the fourth finger, but it's really, I find it hard. It's sort of hit and miss sometimes to get it clean. So just by moving this note here, we get a string skip and a bigger shift, but I think it's easier to play consistently. So, but you always have the choice. As with any of these fingerings, I'm just showing you my fingerings, and that's sort of what's cool with these classical pieces, because it's not written for the guitar in most cases, so it's really up to you how you organize it. Okay, so again, we have from this note here the B minor arpeggio. It starts with an upstroke, and then the D here. So we go D, F sharp, B, and then descend. So. So that's the complete 2 bars. So from the beginning would be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay. So the next 2 bars we start on the note that we ended on, and this can be quite tricky. And can I just show you what I'm gonna play through first, and then I'll show you a way that's easier to think about this. So, okay, so here we go. So basically what we got here is this chord progression. So we got E7 into a F sharp minor into an E7 again into A major. And the actual picking is so you go 5, 4, 7, then 4, sorry, 6, 7, 7, and then 7, 9, 9, and then just this A major arpeggio and a descending line. Okay, so again, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. But I think of this as chords like this, and then just sort of a cross-picking pattern with those chords. So so anything you can come up with like that will really help you remember it much more easily. So again, slowly. Okay, so moving on, this section is probably the hardest one, at least for me. It's kind of tricky with a lot of kind of weird fingerings and also not too obvious patterns on the guitar. You can really tell that it's not really written for the guitar. And also the right hand has a lot of skips to handle. So, but I'll just play through slowly again. So the two if you look at the PDF, it's from the section 2, it's the third line down. So it's the last 2 bars of that page. Okay, so here we go. Okay, and a little bit quicker. Okay, so the first group is starting here on the 8th fret. So we go D string, 8, 7 on the D string, and then jump up to the E string on the 8th fret, and then slide down, but not like this. It's more of a position shift, so we don't want it slide. We don't want to hear that position shift. So like this, 1, 2, 3, 1, and this is really good for your pinky and third finger coordination. So and quite a big skip here from. So we go down on the G string, up on the D string, and down on the E string. So okay, so that's the first group. 1, 2, 3, 1. The next group starts here on an upstroke. You can see this as a let's see, an E minor, if you want. So we go up on the B, on the E string, down on the E, up on the G, on the D string, and then position shift again with the index finger. So and together, and from here we go up. So a very similar pattern. We just do this quarterly. So that's the last group. So like this. Okay. So that's the let's see, first bar. Then the second bar starts here on the index finger on the 5th fret. That's the complete bar. So we go 5, 7, 7. I bar with the third finger. So, and remember that we're starting with an upstroke here. So up, down, up, and then six on the A string, 4 on the G string, 5 on the E string. So, and from here it's pretty easy compared to the rest. Okay, so the last group is just 3, 4, 5. So, and build it from the previous group. We have and build from that, the one before that. So we go. Sorry. And actually building backwards like this is really good for your memory, so you can try that out when you do it by yourself as well. And the group before that was just starting with the upstroke. And the last group. And again, and try to not make any mistakes. So. So this is really helpful to practice with the short, quick but slow method. Or rather slow but quick, slow but fast, slow and fast. I don't remember what I called it, but it's the same practice technique where you slow down everything except the movements. So this is a real workout for both hands and your brain. So that's a good thing. Okay, so break it off from here in this video and we'll pick it up again in the next one. So good luck with this. Okay, so we're starting out on the very first bar of the second page of the Bach in B minor complete PDF or guitar profile. So we start here on the A. Now just play through the first two bars plus the first note of the next bar, just to connect them slowly. Okay, so here we go. Okay, one more time. And actually I will count it this time. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay, so first section, index finger. So we go 2, 3, 2, and jump over the B string, starting with a downstroke. Go down to the G string, to the B note, and play. The fingering I use here is 2, 3, 4. Okay, and from there we go back to the D string, but 1 fret lower. So the 4th fret, second finger. Not trying to flip you off. Sorry. So you get sort of a pedal here, the bass note. And if you look at the bass note here, and you can see this throughout the piece, where because you're sort of playing both the melody and the harmony and the bass note at the same time here, just linearly. And by that I mean you don't have one note ringing. It's like you have several lines going at once in a way. So if you just look at the bass. Anyway, so that's the first bar. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. And next bar starts on an upstroke, and we go. This really as an E minor arpeggio with the 9th added, and ending on the 4th, which is if we look at it from an E minor perspective, but we're not. We're in B minor, so forget about that. But just realize that it's just a E minor arpeggio shape here. Okay, so the fingering would be, and we'll start with an upstroke. We have pinky on the 5th fret, 3rd finger on the 4th fret, pinky again on the 5th fret, index finger on the 2nd fret, and then back 5, 4, 5 using the same fingers. And then index finger on the 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the 3rd fret, and then finally stopping on the 5th fret. Which is the first note of the next 2 bar section. So again, the first 2 bar section of this video will be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So again, starting with a downstroke and ending with a downstroke. Okay, so the next section really slowly will go like this. Okay, so the first bar of this section would be, we ended on this note from the previous one, so actually bar with the pink here. So when you practice the previous section, you sort of want to make sure that you end that section with on the flesh of the middle, on the pinky. If you don't want to re-finger it like this, that also works. So that's up to you, but I play it with the pinky. Okay, so again, from the top. So really, once we get down here, it's just descending the scale. Okay, so 5, 5, 5, 3, and 1 finger per fret here. 5, 5, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5, 4, 2, 1. That's the next, the first note of the next bar, upstroke again. So, and here we go up F sharp minor arpeggio, and then so 4, 2, 2. Again, 1 finger per fret. 4, 2, 2, 3, 2, 5, and then we get a D major spread triad. So going down to the G here, starting with an upstroke. So 2 on the E string, 2 on the G string, 5 on the A string, and then index finger on 3rd fret on the G or E string. So again, this is really a lot of jumping for the right hand. Okay, so if we connect these 2 bars, we would have okay, so the next section would be starting on the G here. Get that sort of open triad again, spread triad, different names. So the fingering here is actually not like that. It's we need to move index finger up. So we'll play just a regular 5th here with 1, 3. So 3, 5, 4. And I actually find it easier to visualize this section as groups of 2. So I have 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, which, if you know basic math, is 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6. So we get 2 groups of 3 here. Okay, so in that way we would have 3, 5, 4, 6, and then pinky 7, 5. And then we end up here on the 8th fret on the B string and play a group of 3. So, and then the next bar would be so 5, 6, 4, 6, and next group would be 6, 7, 6, 7, and the last group would be 7, 2, So if we connect all that slowly and with a count, it would be like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Oh, as you can see in this section, there's a lot of things happening, so you need to take it really slowly. So I'll play it once more and then we'll take a break and pick it up again in the next video. Okay, so again, the slow but quick method is really helpful here. And again, that's just keeping the motions between each note as quick as possible, while actually the notes per second count would go down. So okay, so give it a shot, and remember, there's a lot of information to get into your head, and it's really helpful to sing this while you play it, so you're not just learning fingering patterns, you're actually learning the music behind it. It will be much easier to remember, and a better way to remember than just seeing shapes on the fretboard. Okay, so good luck, bye bye. Okay, so let's continue right away where we left off. So we left off here on the 3rd fret of the G string. So, and that's where we'll begin, because we're connecting every bar, like we said before. So we're beginning with a downstroke, and the 2-bar section goes like this. Okay, so basically the fingering will be 1 finger per fret the whole way. Yeah, actually the whole way for these 2 bars. And we'll begin here with the first group. We got the 3rd fret, 2nd fret, 5th fret. So 3, 2, 5, 3. The diminished arpeggio. And then we have 3, 2, 5, just a scale fragment. And then oh, sorry, other way around. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So that's the first bar. Okay, and the next bar starts here with an upstroke, so we go 3, 4, so 3, 4, 2, 3, and then 3, 2, 5. So from the beginning of that bar, and the final 3 notes are kind of similar to what we did earlier, but instead we go 2, 2, and again you need to do this barring thing. At least that's the way I play it. You could play it like this as well, I guess. But you play 4 on the D string instead of 5 on the A string. So you go 2, 2, 4, and then you end up on 5, the G note on the D string. So altogether it would be okay. And then we have the pink here, and we'll play. I'll play through the 2 bars again. So the next 2 bars. So slowly. Okay, so we break it down. We have 5, 4, 2, 5, and then 5, 2, 3, and then so the only not weird thing, but the only thing out of the ordinary here is that we change positions. Otherwise, it's just one finger per fret. So this first bar of the next section is all good. Just one finger per fret fingerings, and no strange barring or anything. So, but after this note, we'll play the third note again, but with a new finger. So we go. Okay, and of course this bar starts with an upstroke, and we go. This is actually just a scalar line going down. So. So actually a B melodic minor. Just as we don't play the low B here, but we got the B here, and it's melodic. The only difference between a melodic minor and natural minor, for example, is that we have a natural sixth and a natural seventh. So in effect, it's exactly the same notes as a B major scale, just with a minor third. So. Okay, but anyway, the pattern will be 3, 6, 4, 3, and then just 2 whole steps starting from the 6th fret, and then and the fingering I use here is yeah. Okay, so 4, 3, 3 because of the next section. So this whole thing again. So just watch the shift here again when I play it. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, shift. Okay, so moving along, here's probably my favorite section of the piece. Just play through the first 2 bars here. So and you actually repeat that in a sequence. So basically the same thing, just a slight change of fingerings in the second version. Okay, so as you maybe heard here, you have some repeated notes. So okay, so we start here from that shift. So we go 5, 4, 4, and then we go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 rhythm. So 5, 4, 4, 4, 3, 6, 6, 4, 3. So that's the repeated part out of the way. So then we repeat that. The last note of the previous bar is the same as the first note of the next bar. But from here we play a dominant, an E dominant arpeggio. So okay, so starting from the D, which is the flat 7 of the dominant arpeggio. So we go. This might feel a bit weird, this fingering up here, but it's, again, we just have to power through it somehow. So. Stretch and a shift 2. So you don't have to always, when playing stuff like this, or anything really, I try to keep one finger down at a time, not more. Because you really see it in pieces like this, it's much easier to shift positions if you're not bogged down with a lot of fingers. Because some players give the advice that you should keep as many fingers down as possible, which I think it's wrong. It doesn't work at all for me, and I think it's highly illogical. But so if you have trouble with stretches or you get hand fatigue, try it out to only have one note down, one finger down at a time, as long as you're playing single note lines. So the rule could be don't have any more fingers down than you need at any given time. So. Because it will only make shifts harder and you sort of have to work more than you need to, which is always a bad thing. And again, with this, it doesn't mean that you should, the fingers that you don't use should fly away from the fretboard. Not at all. They can still be used in the, sometimes I can have my index finger sort of lightly touching the strings just to mute the other strings that I'm not playing. So, but what I mean by not having fingers down is not fretting a string more than you need to. Okay, so especially here when you go, so it's much harder to keep the second finger down, and it doesn't help you at all. So, okay, so and then we do exactly the same thing, picking wise, if we would look at this from just a right hand perspective, but we need to change the left hand slightly to just follow the harmony. So, if you get to this part, you're home free basically, because this is the next 2-bar phrase. So and we go 5 and 7, 5, 6, 4, 7, 7, 6, 5, and then 5. And this is basically just a F sharp dominant arpeggio. So it's exactly the same voicing as the E7. So same fingering, just 2 frets up. Okay, so the only difference is this one. And let's put that together. So, and the note we add here is 7 on the G string. Okay, so slowly. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay, so here's the last, the beginning of the last 4 bars of the piece. So we ended up here on 7, the second finger. So slowly, it sounds like this. Okay, and this part is pretty tricky actually. There's a lot of string skips. So 7, 7, 4 is the first group. Then we have 6, 5, 2, and then 4, 3, 5. So that's the beginning of the next bar. So tend to think about this like, after these two notes we have just to F sharp minor, E minor, so same fingering. Probably want to practice this really. This is one of the sections that you probably need to practice a bit more than the others. So okay, so and this section here is just pretty easy compared to what we came from. So after this one, start on the third finger, and again we have this one finger per fret fingering principle. So, and it's just a diminished arpeggio, which is just minor thirds going up. So minor third, minor third, minor third, minor third, minor third, minor third, and then passing tone. And then we shift up, we use this open E to shift up to the B flat here on the 6th fret. And here we go, 4, 2, 5, 3, 2, 5, 3, 2, 0, 6. And this, that's, now we're up to the last two bars, kinda, because this bar contains the first ending, and like in the first part of this piece, we had a first and second ending, which basically just gives you more mileage of what you're learning, because you play exactly the same thing, you just exchange the last bar the second time around, so it's a good thing. Okay, and this is pretty easy, like I said, to remember at least. So you just go 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7. And I use the third and fourth finger here because we're coming from. Okay, so we go, and this is just outlining the B minor arpeggio. This is a really common thing in Django Reinhardt's playing and stuff like that. But this is Bach, several hundred years before that. So, but just you know the logic behind the pattern. So here's the actual minor triad, and we approach it from a half step below. And then after that, so we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Move down to the 4th fret of the D string, and then we play 4, 4, 3. Okay, so, and the first ending is like this. So a minor arpeggio descending from B, a B minor, since that's a tonic. So just going down and back up again, and then we add the second or the ninth or Re. Then we go back from the beginning again. Okay, so. Okay, and so if we connect that, and after that, when we get back to this point again, we go basically the same thing, it's just another different way of outlining the harmony. So instead of going, we go and just up the regular sweep pattern that we've done before. So, but this time alternate pick starting with an upstroke. So up, down. So 2, 5, 4, 4, 3, 2, up to 7. And I like to add just 8, sorry, 7, 6, 7. You can end it however you want, you know, or follow it exactly like Bach wrote it. That's up to you. So that's basically it. And it's just about getting the notes down and practicing it really slowly. Because remember, this is about learning this great piece of music, but also about building your technique. And it will help you a lot because there's some really tricky spots in here if you're not used to it. So it will really expose some of your weak spots. And make sure that I would learn the entire thing so you can play it just to memorize it. But then after you spend some time with each of these, maybe just play each pair of bars like we did, like I showed you in this lesson, and get a feel for which pairs are the hardest for you, and then spend more time on those. So it's really important that you use this method of spending more time on the things that's actually hard for you if you want to progress faster. I know it's harder on the ego, but you should really let that go if you want to get better. So and I'm not going to rant about that right now, but I feel like say it in every video. It's super important. So and just enjoy the music because it's great music, and this is just one tiny piece. So imagine what you can learn just by learning more classical stuff like this, because it's really fun to play and it's a lot of musical information, and it's good for your fingers and it's good for your brain, and it's above all good for your ears and musicality. So have fun with this, and if you have any questions, you know where to find me.